Congressman, talk to us about how you feel about how things are going in Georgia and if you think things might be opening too soon there.
Well, I think things are opening back up here, and that's a good thing. We've wanted that. The president's wanted that. The governor's wanted that. The only concern that we've had is making sure that people do it responsibly, and we have more local input. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. There is concern in being put to areas in which we're seeing our positives go up a little bit. Our death rates are going up in certain areas. But overall, I think people are doing it in a good way. We're seeing people more back out. They're using social distancing. They're using masks. They're doing the things that they need to do. Look, the mayor of Atlanta is not going to be a fan of anything that the governor does, and I understand that. So, look, that's just sort of a typical response. But we're getting better down here. I want to see us continue to do the things in a more focused approach, regional approach, and I think we're doing that. So we'll see Georgia come back around hopefully in the next little bit.
Yeah, there's a big difference between Gainesville and downtown Atlanta, right? And, Georgia's a very diverse state. Let's also talk about what's going on now with Michael Flynn. Republicans in Congress are hoping to question the FBI's Bill Priestep and Joel Pientka, I think that's how you pronounce his name, in regarding the Flynn case here. Pientka participated in the January 2017 White House interview that led to Flynn's prosecution. The handwritten notes that we've talked about that surfaced last week, they were written up by Bill Priestep after that meeting with then FBI Director James Comey and then FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. Now, follow along with us at home. We got to go back over these details. In December of 2019, FBI Director Comey was fired, but he told MSNBC's Nicole Wallace that he sent FBI agents to the room during this interrogation to check things out. Let's focus on what he said.
Something I probably wouldn't have done or maybe gotten away with in a more organized investigation, a more organized administration, in the George W. Bush administration, for example, or the Obama administration. The protocol, two men that all of us have perhaps increased appreciation for.
Congressman, now that we know what's been released here, the laughing almost seems grotesque. But what many people are kind of indicating here is that the culture that existed under James Comey hasn't gone away. We saw that on the screen there, some of the folks that are being investigated now, investigating the investigators. But do you think a change is needed at the top of the FBI? Is it time for Christopher Wray to resign, or should he be fired?
Well, what we see so far, and let's just go back and just take the clip you just run, that is just more than disgusting. It just shows the arrogance of power that Jim Comey has exhibited over the last couple of years. He has wanted to be portrayed as Superman, Captain America, and really he's nothing more than become a thug. And that's really what he did, because he chose right there, his words said, I could do something because I could do it. That's a bully. And that's someone who is wanting to take down this president because he didn't like the president. Christopher Wray, I've had some interesting discussions with him. I think the Inspector General's report, I want to see more done. I want to see more things done, especially in dealing with the FISA court. We saw all those applications that had all the problems in it. This is why we started well over a year and a half ago. We released transcripts. We were doing everything we can to shine light on this. Now, because of the Flynn case and because of Sidney Powell, his attorney, and also Attorney General Barr, we're getting to the fact now that for all of those folks who thought we were just on a protect the president wild goose chase, that was not right. We were right. The corrupt cabal of Comey, Strzok, Page, McCabe, all of these were actually attacking not only a candidate at that point, but then a president afterwards. And I always like to bring this up. Remember, McCabe was the one that was supposed to prep Flynn to make sure that he was ready. McCabe was fired for lying to his own colleagues, but yet he was never charged with that. And it's really interesting because they charged Flynn with lying to the FBI. They didn't charge him with colluding with the Russians. They just wanted to get at this administration.
So, Congressman, let me ask you there. Do you think anything short of criminal charges, whether for McCabe or anybody else, will be a miscarriage of justice?
I believe that if there's not anybody held responsible for this, then we have missed an opportunity, and that will be a tearing down of trust between the American people and the Department of Justice and the FBI. Under the Obama administration, the FBI's top leadership and and several in the DOJ top leadership became nothing but a den of basically iniquity of dealing with how they just did not like candidate Trump and President Trump. We've documented this. Now we have actual case evidence where they actually, again, at a case with General Flynn, they targeted him, they went after him, they did everything they possibly could to hide the facts, to keep it from him, at the same time trying to set him up. This is a pattern that we've seen with Papadopoulos. It's a pattern we've seen with Carter Page. It's a pattern that we've seen of lying to the FISA court. They have to be someone held responsible. I think Durham, U.S. Attorney Durham is doing that, and my hope is that we'll see some accountability very soon.